Hello my dear students and welcome to today's class. As you can see on your screen also, we are going to start with lesson number 5, animal forms and movements. Okay, in this chapter what am I going to cover? I am going to tell you first that movement in animals, movement in humans, joints of the body, movements in bones, and what are X-rays. Okay, so let's start the chapter now. See children, both plants and animals are living, okay, but the basic difference between both of them are plants, they are fixed, they do not move, but if we talk about animals, they keep on moving in search of food, in search of shelter, okay. So plants do not move, whereas animals move, and their movement is known as locomotion. So let's start the chapter now. Both animals and plants are living things, but animals differ from plants. Animals can move from one place to another, whereas plants cannot. The ability of animals to move their body from one place to another is called locomotion. There are some movements in which animals do not move the entire body, but only a part of it shows movement, such as string of food. To lift something from the ground, we only make our hand and bend our backbones. We bend our fingers to hold an object, etc. Okay, now we are going to talk about movement in animals. Okay, the structure of animals and the body type determines the kind of movement they display. Children, on the basis of the backbone, the animals have been divided into vertebrates and invertebrates. The animals which have a backbone are known as vertebrates, whereas the animals which do not have the backbones, they are known as invertebrates. Okay, vertebrates have a backbone, that is, example is human, dog, cat, and invertebrates, they do not have backbone, example cockroach, earthworm, etc. Okay, now I am going to tell you about different movements in different animals. How do they move? The first one we will start with is movement in earthworms. Children, what is an earthworm? Earthworm is a animal which do not have a backbone. Then how do it move? Okay, now let's start. Earthworms are invertebrates, that is they do not have any backbone, or for that the matter they do not have any bones. It has a long tube like body. The shape of the body is maintained by a fluid present inside the body of the earthworm. The body of the earthworm is made up of several segments which are joined together. The lengthening and shortening of these ligaments bring about the movement in the body of the earthworm. Children, the earthworm body does not have any bone. Okay, it is the body is filled up of fluid. Okay, and how do they move? By the expansion and contraction of their body. Okay, now we'll talk about movement in snails. Okay, as you can see on your screens also clearly now, snail is a very slow moving animal. It consists of a shell, a head and a foot. The head has two pair of tentacles. One pair is small and the other pair is long. The longer tentacles have eye on their ends. The shell of a snail is not made up of bones. It contains the internal organs of the animal. When snail senses danger, it retreats its head and foot into the shell. Children, snail is a very slow moving animal. Okay, it consists of a shell. As you can see, the shell is here. Okay, it has a head and it has tentacles. Here tentacles are there, and it has a pair of eyes on these tentacles. It has eyes. Okay, and here is the foot with which it moves. Okay, now we will talk about movement in cockroach. Children, cockroach also is a insect and they are invertebrates. They do not have any backbone. Being an insect, the outer body of the cockroach is covered with a hard covering called the exoskeleton. Exo means outer. The exoskeleton provides protection to internal body parts and act as a site for the muscle attachment. A cockroach is able to run or crawl on ground as well as fly. Children, insect, it is an insect which can crawl on the ground as well it can fly. Okay, now here you can see also. Now There are 6 pairs in a cockroach. Okay, there are 3 pair of legs in a cockroach. That is total of 6 legs are present. Okay, children, cockroach have how many legs? It has got 3 pairs. That means in all it has got 6 pairs, and at a time only 3 legs move and 3 remains in a state of rest. Okay, now we'll talk about movement in fish over here. As you can see on your screens also, fish are vertebrates. Okay, just now I have told you about snail, I told you about earthworm, they were invertebrates. Now we are going to talk about the animals which have a backbone. Okay, first is the fish. Okay, fish are vertebrates, they have a backbone and skeleton. Their skeleton is made up of either bone or cartilage. The body of a fish is streamlined, that is, it is thin at both the ends. Here you can see the body is thin here, but in the middle it is broad, okay, and thick in the middle. Such body shape provides least resistance to water and thus aids in swimming. Also, they have fins which help them in maintaining the direction. Now we will talk about movement in snake. Snakes have a flexible backbone. They do not have any limbs. Snakes crawl on their belly. The scales present on the body helps them in crawling on the ground. Snake moves in waves, that is, their body moves in form of a wave from side to side, which in turn propels their body forward. See, snake, they crawl on their belly. वो अपने पेट पे चलते हैं. Okay, they crawl on their belly and they never move straight. They move in a zigzag position. Okay. Now, movement in birds. As I told you, the fish have streamlined body. Same is the case with the birds now. Okay, birds too have a streamlined body. Okay, birds can fly, they can hop. Okay, and they can walk also. Birds can fly, walk or hop on the ground. Okay, such birds, some birds are ducks and swans that can easily swim in water as they have webbed feet. These webbed feet push the water backward and in turn pull the bird forward. Okay, birds have some special characteristics which help them to fly. I'll tell you about those characteristics now. You can see on your screens also. Okay, the first is their bones are hollow. Their bones are hollow. Hollow means nothing inside the bone. That makes the body of the bird very light, because if the body is going to be light, they would be able to fly easily. Okay, and thus birds are lightweighted. Their bodies are streamlined and thus provide minimum resistance to air. They have very strong muscles attached to their limbs and they have wings which help them to fly. Okay, now we will talk about movement in humans. Children, see, human being is a vertebrate. That means we all have a backbone. Okay, now the first thing is skeleton. What is skeleton? The framework of bones in a body is known as skeleton. A skeleton provides a proper shape to the body. Okay, now a body is made up of bones. Bones are hard structure present in a body which support and protect many organs. It is because of the presence of these bones that we are able to stand, walk and bend. Bones are hard, rigid and white structures. There are total 206 bones present in a body. Children, an adult body has 206 bones, but when a child is born, it has got more than 206 bones. Okay, so what are the functions of the skeleton now? Let me start with here. The first is the skeleton provides shape and support to the body. It holds the body together. The skeleton protects our internal organs. It helps in the movement of body in association with muscles. Bones are hard from outside, but they are soft and spongy from inside. Okay, the inside of bones contains a soft substance called bone marrow. Okay, now moving to the next one. Here you can see. Okay, the first is the skull, where the whole body is divided into 4 parts. We will start from the top. This is the skull. Now the skull, what is the function of the skull? First is it is protecting the brain. Okay, the whole skull is divided into 2 parts, the upper and the lower part. Okay, the upper part, that is protecting the skull, the brain, and the lower part, it forms the face. Okay, now The skull is the bony structure and protects a brain. A total of 22 bones together join and form the skull. The upper part of the skull contains the brain and the lower part forms the face. Just now as I have told you, the upper part it is protecting the brain, okay, and the lower part it is forming the face, okay. Now the next one is backbone. After the skull, the backbone starts, okay, the back, from the back, okay, it starts and it is known as backbone. Now, the backbone is also called the spine. Backbone is a hollow stack of smaller bones called vertebrates in a rod. Here you can see, this is the backbone, okay, like shape, and runs from neck to the hip. It is running from the neck till the hip, okay. The total number of vertebrates that form a backbone is 33. Okay, now moving to the next one is the rib cage. Okay, you can see on your screens also rib cage. As the name suggests, it is forming a cage. Okay, the rib cage. To feel the rib cage, move your hand up and down on your chest. The bone present in a chest are called ribs. There are 12 pairs of ribs in the rib cage. These pairs are present in the form of a cage. Okay. Now moving to the next one. Now the fourth one is shoulder bones. Okay. Now to start with shoulder bones, our arms are attached to the body at the shoulders. There are two shoulders in a body, a right and a left one. The shoulders have two bones. One is the collarbone and the other is called the shoulder blade. Your shoulder, these are your shoulders, how they are attached to the entire body with the help of shoulder bones. Okay. The collarbone is attached to the shoulder blade on one side and the other side is connected to the rib cage. The collarbone is a curved long bone, whereas shoulder blade is a flat triangular bone. Okay. Now moving to the next one now. Next page. Okay. So children, here moving to the next page, we have the hip bones. Now the hip bones provide a connection between our upper body and our lower body. The upper body is connected through the backbone to the hip bone. Both the legs are attached to the hip bone. The hip bones are basin shaped and are made up of number of smaller bones. Now we'll come to cartilage. What is a cartilage? It is softer than bones. Okay, it is very spongy. Okay, cartilage is a type of a tissue which is also a part of a skeletal system along with bones. It is much softer than bones and provide a kind of cushioning to bones. Cartilage is therefore found at the end of bones. Okay, it provides cushioning. Okay, it is soft, it is tender than compared to the bones. Now we are going to talk about different joints of the body. All the bones in a body are joined. Different bones are joined through different types of bones. There are 4 types of joints present in a body. First is hinge joint, second is ball and socket, third is pivot joint, and fourth one is fixed joint. Okay. Now we'll start with hinge joint. Okay. We are going to start with hinge joint now. Such joints allow only forward and backward movement. Okay, they only allow the forward and backward movement. These joints take their name from the joints present in a door which only allow door to be moved forward and backward. An example of hinge joints are elbow, knee, fingers and jaw. Okay, now we'll move to the second one, that is ball and socket joint. As you can see on your screens also. Okay, now ball and socket. What is ball? Ball and socket in which it gets attached. Okay, so the ball and socket joints allow maximum movement of the bones. In this type of joint, the maximum movement is there. In such joints, a bone has a cup shaped socket into which the ball shaped end of the other bone fits in. The ball can rotate freely in its socket such that the movement can be backward, forward, side to side or rotational. Okay, ball and socket joints are present in the shoulder and in the hip joints. Okay, now moving to the next one, pivot joints. Okay, in a pivot joint, the one bone fits into another as a nail would fit into its hole. In such joints, a cylindrical shaped bone fits into the another ring shaped bone. Such a joint allows two types of movement. One is from side to side movement, another one is up and down. Okay, now we are going to move to the fourth one, that is the fourth one is fixed joint. As the name suggests, the joints are all fixed, they do not move. Okay, so fixed joints, such as the name suggests, does not allow any movement. They fix bones with each other. Such joints are very strong and provide strength to a body. Most of the fixed joints are present around the delicate inner organs which need protection. For example, the upper skull has fixed joint and provides protection to a brain. Okay, now there is an activity to observe the movement of bones in various parts of the body. Kindly go through it. There is nothing much to explain in this. Now, how is the movement done? Okay, with the help of muscles. The muscles contract, okay, due to which the bones move. Okay, muscles are masses of tissues that pull our bones when we move. A muscle is attached to both the ends of a bone so that when it contracts, it pulls the bone. Since muscles can only contract and thus push, another muscle is present on the opposite side of the same bone, which when contracts pulls the bone in opposite direction. Okay. Now, how is movement done in arms? Here you can see on your screen also. Okay, fine. The arm has two parts, the lower arm and the upper arm. The upper arm is joined to the shoulder bone through a ball and socket joint, and it has two muscles called the biceps and triceps. Okay, so with this we are coming to the last of the chapter. We are going to talk about X-rays. What are X-rays? X-rays are done to take picture of a bone. Okay, X-ray images help us in studying a skeletal system and also to check an injury or defect in the bones. In case we get an injury and the doctor advises us to go for the X-ray, that means he is asking to take out the picture of a bones. So with this I end the chapter. I hope you all have understood. Thank you and have a great day.